Alright guys, so as the NA version is slowly moving into their anniversary, JP is about a month off, and it looks like this is another attempt to try to siphon what last little bits of Saint Quartz us JP players are kind of holding on to before that anniversary drops, because they already tried with Bhima, then they dropped Durga, and now they're dropping not one, not two, but 3 different banners for the 28 million download campaign, as well as some other goodies. Now, I do want to say that if you are playing JP right now, you really do want to take advantage of this period, because right now, skipping through all of this real quick, there is this plus 20% bond that you get for doing daily quests essentially, and this is really strong. This is actually very good for bond farming, because this, with them also being half off, is very strong, right? It's a very easy way to do a lot of bond farming while also farming, I don't know, stuff like QP or statues that you might need over on the JP version of the game, right? So if you are playing JP, I think it is very good to maybe go ahead and start farming some dailies really extensively. I know we just had a lottery, and so that a lot of people might have a lot of QP saved up and everything. I had 1 billion, but I burned through 700 million of that so quickly because we have missions now that reward you for leveling up your skills, and the new kind of I forget what it's called, but the class tree thing where you can give little upgrades, that also takes not only a lot of QP, but it does take a lot of your resources like statues and just normal materials. So being able to farm some of that stuff might be really useful as well if you're kind of hurting for that over on the JP version of the game. Everything else is kind of nice as well. I mean, they have this ruler Artoria over here as like an NP5 fully leveled up servant that you could bring as a friend for your dailies. I don't know why anybody would do that, right? Because I thought maybe it's like, oh, she's going to have like the QP CE or like a bond CE or something for you farming your dailies. That can be really nice if, I don't know, for some reason you can't find somebody with those CEs. But no, she just has like the standard CE that a lot of our story servants will have, where they have like the 50% battery and just like the generic buff type things. And so I think it's kind of nice because, you know, they're not going to give a trial quest for a servant that's not really new, right? But they're like, we're going to throw her out there so people can kind of test her out. So I think it's neat, but it's also like, dude, what are you guys doing? Ain't nobody bringing this Artoria, bro. You're probably just, you're going to bring your normal casters for farming and everything in dailies. Now, it would be really funny if they made her just an NPC that you could bring anywhere, right? That'd be hilarious. You're walking through Camelot and you're just like, hey, let me just bring this ruler Artoria out of nowhere to go fight the other adult version of Artoria, right? I think that would be really funny. But there's also a really good time to start leveling up your things. I mean, I am even like right now just farming dailies as hard as I can, because getting your bonds up so you can get like extra Saint Quartz and just extra apples and everything for the anniversary is going to be very good. And then it's also kind of a nice way to recover from the whole class tree thing. Now, working back up, they put this CE back in the like rare prism shop. I think that's kind of cool, but I already did a short on this a couple months ago when it hit the global version of the game. It's okay. It's not, you know, mandatory to get. You're not going to be like losing sleep for not having the CE, but if you're sitting on a lot of mana prisms, because again, a lot of the missions on JP right now, on top of like all the lores and the grails and all that good stuff that they gave us, they also give us a fair bit of mana prisms. If you're sitting on a lot of those and you've already got all the main ones like Tea Time, Lunchtime, Bella Lisa, Mona Lisa, you've already got all the main Da Vinci Shop CEs, and this could be a good one to pick up. It's not terrible, right? You know, it's fine. I've kind of gone through and I've started collecting some of the old ones myself over on Global, where, you know, I've started picking up the personal training CEs and some of the Scion ones, just because we have a lot of mana prisms in circulation now. They're a bit easier to get. There's also these things that are thrown in there. I don't think these are really all that worth talking about. I mean, the gold foes are nice, I suppose. You know, these are always just kind of good to pick up the 2k some of your servants, but this is actually real nice. If you're smart and not me, you can save some of these tickets and some of this material for whatever anniversary servant decides to drop. So, you know, you can start leveling them and go ahead and get their normal foes done, and then also potentially get them off this ticket. Or you could be me and use them to try to get NP2 Durga and fail miserably. There's also this bond point thing over here, where the amount of bond points that you farm, which is stupid dummy easy, right? If you go to your daily quest, you can get a whole bunch of these Saint Quartz over here. That's, again, just very nice, right? It's not too bad. We also get some extra teapots. It's nice. Bond farming. It's cool. And then there's this login bonus over here, where at the very end, I mean, yeah, this is all good stuff and all, but look at this. You get a lore. Woo, that's kind of nice. And then you get 30 Saint Quartz. They're going to hook you up with the multi right before the anniversary. If you're going to be playing on JP, make sure you start logging in, right? You don't want to miss out on these. You don't have too much time, right? There's not a huge window of opportunity in here, because you got to log in for 10 days, and well, I mean, this is kind of already dropped, so you're a little late on that one, but you can still maybe try to claim the EXP cards and maybe the gold foes if you log in quick enough. And maybe if you see this in the morning before JP login, you could technically knock out 2 logins in one day. So that's kind of nice if you log in now in the morning, and then when login actually hits, you can knock out another one. So you can catch still some of these, which can be very, very nice. I mean, especially if, you know, you're really hurting for QP. 10 million QP is not a whole lot, but it's enough for like 1 Grail level, right? That's kind of nice. It's cool, right? We actually have a nice little quality of life buff over here. You can actually start sorting out your CEs a little bit more. So if you notice that your Valentine CEs, and for whatever reason you haven't put them in your second archive, or you haven't not been a monster like me and used them to do CE bombs, if you still have those in your main archive for whatever reason, you can at least start distinguishing between those, your returning gift CEs, and then your max bond CEs. Like, so it's kind of nice. You can kind of separate them out. But me personally, I throw a lot of these in the second archive, right? Because a lot of the bond CEs I'm just not going to use, right? There's very few of them that I will use. Like Herc's, I think, is really good and worth keeping. There's Artorias, Merlins, waivers, stuff like that are kind of worth holding on to because you might use them. They're nice little supporting CEs for the characters, right? They're kind of nice, but you're not going to use, like, I don't know, Da Vinci's, right? Or you're not going to use like Artorias, right? Or Gilgamesh's, right? You're not going to use their bond CEs. You're going to use something better. So it is a nice little quality of life update for the weirdos that just have everything in their main archive. Now, here comes the big Mac Daddy summoning campaign. So first and foremost, you're getting hit with the Artoria Ruler banner, which I think is kind of easy to skip, right? Because she's not the craziest servant of all time. I don't think she's as bad as a lot of people say. I've run a lot of defense for this character over on NA because, you know, I just will use her in a lot of like crit team setups, and she'll do really well. Like, her NP doesn't do a ton of damage, but the little card buffs that you get on the NP itself, and then the nice crit buff and the ability to kind of cycle through cards, it makes her fun to use, right? Because there's always a lot of times where you're like, man, I wish I could find my actual DPS's, you know, main command cards. But unfortunately, I'm getting clogged up with all my supports right now, and all my stars are here. And she can just say, you guys disappear for a turn, it's all me. That's a very, very nice thing to do. But also with Okita being on here, while she is very cute, and I do like Summer Okita a lot, this doesn't really seem like a banner that's going to be all that tempting. We have a event that's right around the corner. I'm assuming that's what this live stream on the 5th over here is going to be about. We have like the little icon for it, but we don't know what it's going to be yet. And then we also have the anniversary coming around, and I don't think you want to spend your Saint Quartz on either one of these banners. The other one over here, this one could be a little bit tempting. If you have Scotty or Ruler Scotty, Maid Alter gets a lot better because she tends to have a little bit of a consistency problem, but someone like Scotty or Ruler Scotty plugs that up entirely because you just start dumping massive amounts of quick buffs and NP buffs into her, and so she's able to just easily refund her NP and everything. So that's very, very nice. And then MHXX over here is just still one of the best arts DPS units in the game. I mean, she could just make quick work of most enemies, especially if they're foreigners or sabers, right? She will absolutely eviscerate those dudes. This one is personally tempting for me because I have been hunting down Archer Artoria for the longest time, and I cannot remember the last time she's gotten a raid up. Like, I think it's been a fat minute since I've at least, I might be thinking of the NA version, right? But it has been a fat minute since I've seen her on any, like, raid up banner, right? So I'm a little tempted for this one. Plus, I also really like Mordred, you guys know that. So I'm thinking about summoning on this one. And plus, some of these CEs are just a blast from the past. And this one, I was going to say is not that bad, but I mean, there's definitely better CEs actually nowadays. But yeah, these are some nice little banners I got going on over here. But I think you should be fine with just skipping out on these banners because, again, you can try to hunt most of these guys on a GSSR. The GSSRs as of late have been getting just better and better. They're really, really strong. And so I imagine if you're like, oh man, I really want to try to get Archer Artoria like me, I'm assuming there's going to be like some single target arts banner that she's going to be on, and you can just try to get her off that. But that's really all there is to this 28 million downloads campaign that we got going on over here. It's pretty nice. I like it. I'm going to be doing a lot of bond farming. This is a nice little chunk of rewards they're going to be able to get. The additional little amount of Saint Quartz over here for just kind of playing the game, because you'll probably get this if you just log in and do your dailies normally, right? I knocked this out in one streaming session, right? So it was really easy to do. But yeah, it's nice. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and catch you guys in the next one. You guys have yourselves a nice day. Peace. Late, guys.